spectacles so I can get a better look at y'all. I know I'm a fine specimen of a man. If you're interested, give me a call sometime. Anywho, I saw something moving back there. I reckon I better scoot on out of here. Nice meeting y'all. Take care of yourselves. If you want to know how to do this here look, stay tuned. We're gonna show you
A video that I'm going to be doing for a Halloween collaboration for the Breakfast Club for YouTubers to collaborate. I am going to be showing you how to convert your plain Jane face into a manly, masculine, whatever. So I'm going to be going from this to a dude. So if you're interested in watching that, by all means, stay tuned and we'll get started. Okay, the first things that we're going to be starting with is some cream concealer on the eyes, and what I have used is the e.l.f. I don't know, whatever. So I've used that all over my eyes to conceal my eyes. And then I also used this right here. I used that across the brow. I used this pinker shade, kind of a pinkier, peachy shade right on the eyelid itself, you know, like this right here. And then I blended that in with my little sponge, just like that right there, okay? So all I'm going to be doing right here now is I'm going to be using, this is a Lauren Hutton, and that's the shade that I'm going to be using. This is a lot darker than my actual skin tone, as you can see, but I'm going to be converting myself into a dude. So I'm going to be applying this all over, you know, as you can see, it's not, you know, it's darker, you know, more like, yeah, it's dark, but I want to achieve a more, the look that I'm going to be going after here is more of a, you know, sun damaged outside guy look. So, you know, I'm not looking for, a feminine look here. I'm looking for a manly, you know, outdoorsy, manly man look. So I'm just getting this cream on my face, and I did moisturize prior to doing this. Now, I believe that cream makeups for Halloween actually have more longevity, and I will set these with a powder, and this is going to be a very, very heavy makeup look. So as you can see, I applied quite a bit of cream. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with my handy dandy blender. So yeah, if you're interested in watching me pounce this all over, I don't know if I can speed this video up, but I'm going to pounce all this in and then we'll show you what we do from there. Okay, so as you can see, I've pretty well pounced this into my skin, and now I'm, you know, dragging it into my hairline. So, you know, when you're doing Halloween makeup, you know, you want to, especially if you're trying to, you know, convey a look that doesn't match your own skin tone, you want to try and make it blend into your own natural skin tone, as it were. So, you know, you see me putting it up into my ears and all of that. Okay, so now I've got that done. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to go ahead. I want to conceal my eyes a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and take my e.l.f. stick here and just, I want to make sure that I've got a really good base for shadow and stuff to stick to, because I'm going to be creating a very shadowed effect there, and you will see what I'm talking about once I do that. And then I want to highlight right there. I want to make this look a little more chiseled, so I'll show you what I'm going to do there. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply this concealer. You know, I'm not doing this necessarily to hide any dark circles, because, you know, manly men don't do that. I'm doing this because I want to highlight these areas a little bit, so I'm going to be pounding that in. Now it doesn't matter because I'm going to make a 5 o'clock shadow and on my lip and stuff. So just going to pound that in. I want this kind of carved out here, and I want my forehead to look really square. So I'm going to be making that a little bit lighter, because I want it to look like I got a big old forehead, like a dude, you know. So I'm just going to blend that in, guys. Okay, so now I have that all blended in. Now it is time to get out. I have this is actually a combination. It's a concealer and, not concealer. It is a blush and contouring. You know, it's like supposed to be dual or whatever. But this is just really more, I mean, if you can see, it's, you know, more brown than anything. So what I'm going to do is I want to create like an after. I want this to be really chiseled out here and up here. Okay? Because I'm a dude, you know, I'm going to be a dude here, right? That's what we're striving for, is dudism. I don't know. And so I want this to be, and that might look crazy to y'all right now. It looks crazy. Trust me, it won't when we get done here. It'll all make sense to you because this is not standard makeuping. You know, we're going for something different here. Okay, so if you can see what I've done here is, you know, hopefully it kind of shows that I'm trying to create a chiseled jawline here. I'm trying to, by, you know, shadowing, and then I'm pulling this down. And then pouncing it into the skin. Okay, and drawing this down, as you can see. Sorry, I'm looking away, guys, but I'm also using, you know, my mirrors here so that I can see what I'm doing. And you can see I've created a shadowing effect there because I want, you know, guys have kind of square foreheads. So now we're going to be setting this with some setting powders, and I'm going to be using this is just a BH Cosmetic set here, and I'm going to be using, probably this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade, a little bit of everything here. But I want to set this first because I really don't want this to move around. So I'm going to go ahead and set this first with some e.l.f. High Definition powder, and I have that right here. And I'm also going to be using the e.l.f. High Definition powder for my under eye, so I'm going to get that done now. So using a fluffy brush, I'm just digging into my e.l.f. High Definition under eye. I'm going to be pouncing that a little bit on each side here, in the corners, and right underneath the eye itself. Just like that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this with the rest of my face with the e.l.f. High Definition powder and a nice big fluffy brush. So I have the e.l.f. High Definition powder on. I'm just going to be pouncing that into this just to set a little bit. I'm not going to be using a whole bunch of this, just want to get this so it won't be slipping around on me. That's good enough, because I'm going to be using other powders here to help shade this look, because we're going to be building upon this, what I already have on my face. So now I'm going to be getting into some contour shades and things like that. So getting into this palette right here, I'm going to be delving into this contour shade right here using an angled brush. This is to create a more chiseled face look. And yep, I'm going to get heavy with it. Remember that I'm going to be creating a after 5 o'clock shadow on this face. And I kind of want to look like I want my dudeish appearance to have, like I've been out in the sun too much. I want a little bit of a leather face look. Okay, that's what I'm after. Okay, in case you wondered. Now, with this is just a blush brush. I'm going to be picking up this highlight shade, and I'm going to be getting into that highlighter, and I'm going to be right here because I want this forehead to look really flat and square. I want my nose to look kind of flat and wide, and I want my under eye to look a little brighter and paler than the rest, because I want this to look like I got a kind of a little bit of a high face here. That's what I'm going after here. About to hit pan on that right there. Okay, so I've used that. Now it's time for a bronzer. I'm going to be using the brush that I used for, oops, not this one. I'm going to be using this angled brush that I used just a little bit ago for the contouring. I'm going to be using that in this bronzer, and this bronzer is True Match. Oh yeah, I'm bronzy, baby. Lordy. And you know, if you're going to be wearing whatever shirt you're going to be wearing, you want to draw that color down too, guys, you know. So guys don't wear blush, or highlighter. Okay, y'all? Just saying. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get a blender and I'm going to blend this out a little bit. So I'm just going to use this brush right here and just try to take away some of the really rough edges. And I have to have a mirror to see what I'm doing, so just taking off any really, really sharp lines that I may have created. Okay, just taking out some rough edges. And big deal if you get makeup into your hair. I'm going to be wearing a you know, I'm not going to worry about getting this into my hairline because with this look, you know, that's going to happen. Okay, so now that I've done that, for my eyes, I want to create the effect that I have a very light colored eye. And so, but I want my eyes to appear like they're deep set. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this, probably this shade right here. You can't see this, just a peachy shade. And I'm going to be picking that up and putting that all over my lid. So let me get a brush. With a flat shader, I'm just picking up this shade right here. Just a, you know, I mean, you guys can use this shade in any concealer that you have. I'm just going to be packing that onto the lid, both lids, on the entire movable lid. Okay. Both, because I want it to appear like, I want my eyes to appear a little bit kind of over exaggerated, almost buggy. That's the look I'm going to go for, but they're going to be deep set. So now that I've done that, I'm going to knock off the excess powder from the same brush. I'm getting into this white shade. Okay, just picking that up, loading it on both sides, and I'm coming, you see that right in the center, right? Okay, of both eyelids. And then I'm going to buff it in a little bit, okay? And because I want my brow line to seem very, very pronounced, because I want a real big, bold brow so that it appears that I have a square forehead, I'm also going to be taking this shade right here and dipping into that. And I'm going to be coming right underneath my brow so that I'm highlighting that area. It'll make that brow seem a lot bolder and wider. So I'm coming right underneath where my natural eyebrow is, okay? Right up into the brow hairs, right? All right, now I'm going to start working on I'm going to create that crease, okay? All right, with that same color that you saw me using, this is actually just a face powder, it's a pressed face powder, but I use it as a bronzer. So I'm just picking up that shade right there, and I've dipped in a, you know, fairly large wide pencil brush. And now I'm coming in, and as you can see, I'm patting that color just as if I would, and right now it looks really intense, and don't worry about that, we're going to blend that out, guys. But I'm creating a crease line, a false crease line. Okay, and you guys have seen me do this before with some of my looks because I want to appear like I have a deep set eye. So in order to get this to look like a deep set eye, I have to cut that crease, all right? Okay, and I'm sorry I'm not looking at you guys. I got to be able to kind of see what I'm doing here. So and you see I'm blending that up almost to that white. Not into the white, but dark, except right out here on the edge. I'm going to go ahead and blend that up. And now I'm going to go ahead and pick up a neutral color, and I'm going to use this coverall. All right. This is all just, you know, foundation stuff, guys. I'm not using actual eyeshadows for this. I'm just using foundations. You can literally do the same stuff. So, as now you can see I'm using that on top of the other, and that'll pull it all together. Now I'm going to take a blending brush and blend it all together because guys don't wear eyeshadow. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to find a fluffy brush to blend this together. Okay, so with my fluffy brush, just going to go ahead and blend that all together. And I may wind up going a little darker than this. I don't know yet. I'm going to do my brow next. So I've got my brow brush here, and I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Brow kit in dark. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get into the wax first. And I'm going to cut this brow out. I need a more magnified mirror than that one. Sorry about the banging and clanging, guys. Now, guys have really straight eyebrows. They don't have a very high arch. Most guys' eyebrows are very straight across. So we're going to go for a very bland look here and a little bit of a drop. And if you see, I'm using the angle of this brush to help me to define this brow. Just like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and work on the other one. Now, I'm going to be thickening these up, and bringing them closer together. So I'm actually going to be going just a little bit past, just so you can see where my actual hairs come in. And I'm trying to keep them as straight as possible without much arch. And I'm actually going to come a little deeper in here. So that they appear closer together and bigger, okay? Okay, that's, you know, more dude looking. So now I'm gonna use the brown, I'm gonna go over the top of that and set this wax. So just so you see what I'm doing, I'm using the same brush, I'm just getting into the color and I'm pressing it in to the wax and then brushing it into the brow hairs. Just to help set that brow. Okay, now I've got that kind of where I want it and how I want it to look. So I'm going to be taking a, I'm going to be getting into this contour shade right here, and I'm going to be trying to chisel out my nose a little bit more because I want it to appear like I have a really wide bridge nose. So I'm going to be contouring from here over, and I'll show you how I do that. So with a contouring concealer brush, I'm just going to be getting into this contour shade right here and loading up the brush head. And carefully, I'm going to start right about here and try to carefully bounce that shadow in, not shadow, contour color. And I want to achieve, as you can see, that's going to, once I start blending this, this is going to really, it'll make more sense to you. But right now, and I want my nose to appear fairly wide, okay, because dudes have wide noses. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And so I'm going to work at blending this in and blending this out a little bit. And I'm actually going to try and make my nostrils appear very wide. So to make my nostrils appear very wide, I'm going to come down in here. Okay, so now you get the idea here, right? So now it's just a matter of working with this and blending this. So I'm going to do that so you guys aren't bored with this. Okay, so you're getting the gist of what I'm doing here. And again, as I said, I want this to appear as if I've been out in the sun too much. I'm a pretty rough dude. So I'm going to be using the same contour shade. I'm going to be coming in over here. And I'm going to be bringing this out to make my eye look a little more square out there. So now I'm just doing some shading and chiseling to create more deep set features throughout my face. So I'm going to be working on that now. Okay, now I want to start working on, and there will be some more blending going on here, but I want this whole look to come together kind of at the same time. So now I'm going to be creating like an after 5 o'clock shadow, as it were. And so in order to do that, I start out on the outer edge. You know, I'm talking about a guy that, you know, doesn't keep shaving here like he ought to. So and I'm pounding this into the skin, guys. This isn't just you know, I pound it in and then I do a little bit of blending here. So I want to create this after 5 o'clock shadow look. So now I'm going to be getting just a little bit bigger brush. Be right back. Okay, so I have a angled brush here that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be getting into that same contour shade. And this is that same BH contour shade that I was using before. And so now I'm going to be creating a fairly dark, smutty line right along here. Up to where, you know, you would have a, I don't know what the thing, what do you, sideburns. And then all the way along the chin. See what I'm doing here? Shading. Okay, so now I'm going to be picking up, I'm going to get into some actual shadows now, and I'll show you what I'm going to be using. All right, this is, in case of those of you who want to be able to know what I'm using, this is the Birthday Suit palette. My top broke off, so I just set that aside. I'm going to be getting into this really dark brown shade right here and just picking that up with this contour brush. Oh, I'm a dirty dude. So I'm picking up some more. And I want to create this dirty 5 o'clock shadow from my hairline right down here like I got sideburns. So you can see what I'm doing right there. So I'm going to work on that and I will come back. Okay, so as you can see, I've gotten more of a dirty, disgusting look about myself, and now I'm just going to be trying to create some of that shading into the socket line here so I get a more deep set looking eye. But I want my brow line, you know, to pop, and I want my lids to pop because, you know, I want those features to be fairly chiseled. And, you know, the same with, as you can see, I want my nose to look pretty wide. I'm going to be a handsome dude. Yes, I am. So I'm going to get into this shade right here with a wide smudger as soon as I find it. Okay, so with my wide smudger here, this is the one I like to use for really light shades. I'm going to be getting into this Birthday Suit palette, this color right here, because I want to pop that brow a little bit more right here. And I'm just patting that in, guys. Right underneath that very, very stark brow I created. Just, I'm not blending at all. I'm just patting that color in there. So it stopped on me. Maximum recording time, whatever. So I'm going to be getting in here and patting some of this up in here. And right up over both brows. I just want that really, really light right there, and I want it across. I want a very wide bridge here. I mean, this is not a feminine look at all, right, guys? I want my nostrils sticking out, and I want it to look like I got a big, bulbous, wide, manly nose. I want to look like somebody you want to go out with, right? Oh, shoot. Okay, so now it is time for the stubble that I'm going to do, and yeah, so I need to get my eyeliner or my eye pencil brush, and we're going to start drawing in the stubble and some hairs. All right, this is just a dark brown, I don't know what brand it is. It's an eye pencil, eyebrow pencil, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start drawing in some of this 5 o'clock shadow, as it were, okay? And I'm going to start, I might have to use a wet, yeah, there we go. So, you can see I'm just using a dotting and kind of pulling. And so I'm going to start up here and start working some of that in there. And just poking. You see what I'm doing? Just poking little stubble marks like that, okay? I'm going to do that everywhere that I want it to look like I got a 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, so I've got some, 5 o'clock speckles going on in my face. So now I'm getting back into this Birthday Suit palette with this shader brush, and it's kind of a dense one for contouring, and I'm getting into that kind of smoky shade right there, and I'm pouncing this in along areas that I want to create more of a dark, effect. So that's what I'm doing here. So hopefully you can see what I'm after here and what I'm trying to achieve. I am not blending. I am pouncing product in. Just like that. Okay. Okay, now I'm doing the same thing to cut out my jaw here. Okay, now that I've done that, in this same palette, there's a gray shade here. I'm going to be getting into that gray shade. Loading up the brush pretty heavy. And I'm going to be dabbing that on. Up in here, where the hairline comes together. And yes, I'm getting pretty vigorous with that up there, because I want that to look like a natural hair transition, so I'm buffing that in. Okay, so I've buffed that in up into there, and now I'm going to be that same gray shade right next to the navy blue. And now I'm going to be getting into that lighter gray shade. I know I look really pretty, don't I? Oh yeah. So now, I want to find, I think I'll just use this guy here, and I'm going to buff this out a little bit and try and blend it a little bit more. So just real light little strokes. Up underneath here. And I think I might want to give myself just a little bit of, I think I need a little bit of some type of blusher, but I'm going to go for like a rust shade of blush if I can find one. That's probably about as close as I'm going to get. I just want a little bit of, and I'm just going to use the same brush I've been using here, guys. Just pick up a little bit of that. And I'm going to lightly just give a little bit, and on the end of my nose, and just a little bit up here. You know, just to give me a little bit of a flesh color. I might add some peach to that. Yeah. Yeah, I might add a little bit of peach to that. I'll see if I can find a peachy one. This is all matte stuff, guys. Don't use any shimmery stuff here. You won't get the same effect, so. I don't know. 5 o'clock shadow? Yeah? No? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, guys, don't wear lipstick, but my lips are looking like nasty, so I want to add, and I'm not going to use a lip liner here because guys don't use lip liner, but this is, you know, like a dark flesh shade. So I'm just adding that. Ugh, I don't like this lipstick. I don't know what this is. This is something I've had forever. Probably should pitch it, in all honesty. Because, yeah. So I'm going to blot that. And then I'm going to, you know, dudes do have eyelashes, so I'm not going to put eyeliner on, but I am going to do some lash stuff. Okay, so just any kind of mascara that you have. Seriously, I'm just going to be putting some mascara on my eyelashes, and you guys know what that looks like, so I'll come back with a finished look.
Hope you're having a fine evening. My name's Bobby, and I thought I'd come here and say Happy Halloween. Howdy, y'all. Y'all sure look fine. Well, I'll talk to you later. It's been real nice meeting you. Have a good day. God bless y'all. Take care.